What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Good Game Reviews. Here to do another game review. Never mind the blue tongue. It's Candy Canes. We have the final score: New England versus Los Angeles. The Los Angeles Chargers, 45-0. Patriots win. Man, I'll be lying if I said I predicted this to happen. I had no idea that it was going to turn out like this. I predicted a close game. I think a lot of people predicted a close game. You know, a lot of analysts, everybody looking at everything, it looked balanced. Good pass rush from the Chargers. Has a really good quarterback. Rookie quarterback's doing well this season. Nice weapons. Patriots haven't been too dominant against, a lot of, fast receivers and things like that. And it just looked like one of those matchups where it's going to be, this is going to come down to the wire and it's going to be by a score or by a field goal or something like that. But no, it was a complete blowout. Just a complete, embarrassing loss on the side of the Los Angeles Chargers. A lot of questions are going to be, asked about Anthony Lynn at this point. And, Patriots, they are one step closer. Now, it's not there yet. They're still behind the Ravens. They're still behind the Raiders, but they're a step closer in terms of actually getting into the playoffs. A lot of things have to shake out in their favor, but this definitely helps. Let's go ahead and get into the good and the bad. I want to start off with the good, and it's a lot of good to touch. We have. First of all, I want to, put Cam Newton in here. Now, his numbers, again, weren't impressive. Double-digit passing yards, had 69 passing yards, less than what he had last week. But he was 12 for 19. He got a touchdown. He had a passing touchdown to N'Keal Harry for 5 yards. Didn't turn the ball over. And I think that's what everybody that's what they want from Cam Newton. They want him to effectively move the ball down the field and not turn the ball over. Use his legs, use his arm, just keep the ball safe. He also had 48 yards on the ground and 2 rushing touchdowns. That's the big number right there, the 2 rushing touchdowns, which adds to his rushing touchdown total and puts it up to 11 right now. So I think that's pretty much what everybody's looking for Cam Newton to do. They're not looking for him to be Brady. They just want him to be the best version of himself this year, and that's what we got in this game right here. Very hard fought game for Cam Newton. Jarrett Stidham, he came in for a little while once it was pretty much out of the water. Los Angeles didn't have a chance. He put together a nice little drive. Got a touchdown to Gunnar Olszewski. I'm not necessarily including Stidham in the good category. It was just nice to see him out there taking reps and not throwing picks and actually throwing touchdowns. I just throw that in there. If I could throw him in as an honorable mention, maybe, fine. But it was nice. It was just nice to see him out there. But somebody who does, deserve to be on here, Damian Harris. Once again, had a great rushing day. 80 yards, average 5 on the ground. That's pretty much around what he, his total is as far as, his average on the ground is around that 5-yard mark. So guaranteed. First down, he runs the ball. You get a 2 or 5, second and 5 at best. I've liked what I've seen with Damian Harris. It's nice to see that he's still healthy at this point, and even with the return of Sony Michel, it pretty much looks like this is his job to lose. He's the number 1 RB, and Sony Michel, he's got some catching up to do, but Patriots find themselves at a good spot with Damian Harris. So, that's nice to see. As far as receiving numbers go, wasn't a lot to speak of. You had a reception here, reception there. Jacoby Myers had the most receptions out of anybody with 6. But it was pretty much kind of like, this person got a little bit of this and a little bit of that. As you saw earlier, not a lot of passing yards. So, of course, not a lot of reception yards, not a lot of receptions to speak of. Gunnar Olszewski actually led the team in reception yards with 38, but that was because of the 38 reception touchdown that he got from Jarrett Stidham. Also, N'Keal Harry got him a touchdown. I'm still pushing for him. It's just it's just been really hard this season, and he has to step up in a big way. If not, then these other guys, they're going to step up in his place. So he's got some work to do. But for today, I'll just let it slide. I'll give him a break. He had 3 targets, caught 2 of them. Just let him be. Just let him be for today. Also, as far as the tight end situation goes, Ryan Izzo was actually injured during this game. So even though, he was also included in the, pass catching, as far as the receiving numbers go, he was included in that, but didn't really contribute a lot. He was injured during this game. He was questionable return. He never returned. So that's probably why you saw a lot more of Dalton Keene out there. And that might be the trend going forward. You're probably going to see a lot of Dalton Keene. Maybe they decide to bring Devin Asiasi back into the fold. But as for right now, it might look like a little bit of, we might see a little bit of Dalton Keene out there. He didn't catch any passes, but, that just looks like that's what the trend is going to be. As far as the defense, now, if there's any praise to be given, it has to be for the defense. Adrian Phillips, he leads the team in tackles. Today, he led the team in tackles as far as total tackles with 12. He's just, pretty much the best thing you could, ask for as far as like this defense goes. He makes almost all the plays. He's all over the field. Whenever there's, a tackling situation, stopping somebody, on a third and long or third and short, he's there. It's just been nice to see him come into the fold, being that this is his first year. It didn't take him long to get acclimated to this. So very nice to see him produce. Juwan Bentley had a good game. Terrence Hall had a good game. Duggar had 5 tackles. He was nice. Lawrence Guy and Adam Butler, both of them had a sack this game. Adam Butler had a tip ball at one point. This defensive line, just the defense as a whole, this front seven, they're starting to get better and better as the weeks progress. And, I think that's pretty much all what Patriots fans were looking for. I mean, this happened to be like a very weak spot for the, for this football team. But it seems like a couple things are coming into place. People are getting comfortable in certain places that they are. And we're finding the identity of this defense. As far as the rest of the defense goes, Deidre Wise had him a sack. J.C. Jackson had an interception. Chase Winovich had an interception, by the way. And you're probably not going to hear a lot of that. But, Chase Winovich, an interception. It's just been nice to see him, being a playmaker that we've known him. He has the potential to be a playmaker. We know he's a playmaker. And it's just nice to see him, making plays. He's very effective on the pass rush. Also, alongside with Josh Uche, even though, his numbers don't show up, it's visible that he's effective on the pass rush. Chase Winovich has been, pretty effective on the pass rush. We've seen his numbers kind of drop during the season. We figured he was in the doghouse. It's official. He's out of the doghouse now. So he's out there more. He's out there on more snap counts. He's making plays. And it's just nice to see him being productive in his defense. So give it up to my man Chase Winovich. Now, I said this in a prediction video, and I'm going to restate it for this video right here. Special teams is key. I said this special teams was going to play a big part in this game, and it absolutely did. You had the kickoff, the 70-yard kickoff return for a touchdown from Gunnar Olszewski. Later on, he had a 60-some-yard return on a punt. All overall, they was just making plays, the special teams. And, of course, Los Angeles has a weak special teams, and we kind of expected them to make plays, but we didn't really expect anything like this. You also had the blocked field goal by Cody Davis, which was returned for a 45-yard touchdown by Devin McCourty, 48. But I mean, just as far as the three phases of the game, everybody participated in this win. Everybody played a big part in this. It was just phenomenal. Also, Nick Folk, I've been saying his name a lot lately. He only had one field goal to make, but he made it. He also had 6 extra points that he had to make, and he made all 6 extra points. So, once again, Nick Folk stepping up, being that player that we need right now, being that kicker that we need right now. Nice to see him producing. Also, my man, Jake Bailey, 4 total punts, average 44.3, net of 176, had a long of 65. It just seemed like every time, he was kicking it, it was just like he was downing it inside the 10 almost. It was just phenomenal. You also had that nice play by, Bethel. He saved the ball before it went into the end zone, throws it back out, drops it in the 5. Awesome special teams play. Just a great special teams display that we saw today on this field. And with a guy like Bill Belichick, who is such not only a defensive mind, but just such a fan of special teams. He just, like, you could tell when he talks about special teams that he really loves, to see special teams do a really good job on the football field. He wants to see all parts of the football team do good, but you can tell that he's really a big fan of special teams, and the moves that he's made to get certain guys on here to help out with the special teams, the attention to detail that they pay to special teams is very obvious. And when you put up a guy like that against a team that is not particularly good at special teams, I mean, you're asking for a very, very long day. So that just seemed to be the name of the game. Just stellar special teams, stellar defense, and complimentary football on the offense. Just all nice around. They pretty much limited anything that the Chargers were able to do on the offense. They weren't able to run the ball effectively. Justin Herbert probably had one of his worst days today. It just wasn't a good day for that Chargers offense. And thank the defense, thank the special teams. They did a wonderful job in this game. Excuse me. As far as bad goes, I really don't have any bad to give. It wasn't, there was a few little things here and there. You had that one drop, which would have been for a couple of good yards from Jarrett Stidham to kill Harry. But other than that, everything seemed to really click. I think the only thing that we could, look to improve on is Cam being able to move the ball a little bit more through the air, because he's going to have games where he's going to have to do this. He's not going to come up against a lot of these teams where you're just going to be able to run the ball down their throat. There's going to be some teams where you're going to have to pass the ball. This upcoming game possibly being one of them with the Rams, you're going to have to move that ball through the air, and he just he has to do a little bit better at that. But for right now, it looked good. So not a lot of bad to speak on. Tons of good to spread around. Not a lot of bad to talk about. Yeah. I know this might seem a little more shorter than, we're usually used to, but I mean, not a lot to speak of. When the team does a good job, videos are short. When the team does a bad job, they could be even shorter, but you want to see the team do a really good job, and when they do a really good job, I don't have to go too far into detail about things. I can just look at it, leave it on a good note, and we move on into next week. So next week, week 14, Patriots stay in LA. They go against the Los Angeles Rams. Should be a very interesting matchup. Obviously, we already know this is another must-win game. They can't lose. They can't afford to lose any more games. They have to win every one. And interesting note, if the Patriots are able to win this game, you have the matchup against the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Chiefs obviously favored to win that game. And right after that, you have the Patriots and the Dolphins going up against each other. So if the Patriots can, get a win against the Dolphins, hey, who knows? They're like I said earlier, they're right there. They still have some more work to do, and a couple things have to kind of turn in their favor. But with the way things are progressing, they might find themselves in the playoffs. Who's to say? It's still early to call it, but it's a very good chance right there. So, as always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm out.